of part A. So module 1, we will have 4 parts, part A, B, C, D. So today part A, explain the syllabus and understand problem solving. 8.0, let me explain the main items of the syllabus. So probably you have seen the syllabus, right? But a lot of things I need to explain. All right, so first, let's look at the calendar here. For this 8-week semester calendar, you can see, the important days. But we are very lucky this semester. So why? Another holiday, these 2 holidays, we will not lose any class this semester. That's something pretty good. Because last year, summer 24, I lost 1 class to June 19. Because sometimes it could be Monday or Wednesday. If it is on Monday or Wednesday, then we, because we cannot have a class on that day, so we will lose 1. And even 1 class, that is very big for this short semester. Total, including 2 tests, we have 16 classes, including tests. If we lose 1, so because there are 2 tests, I will give you the detail about tests next. All right, so that's the, first, it's a good thing about the, from the calendar point of view. Next, let me explain these 2 tests. Term test, 1 final term. Here I give you the 1 month from today, right? Today, June the 16th. Make it online. So the first one, at the beginning, I tried to make it in the classroom, but in that way, I will use 1 class session to do the test, right? If I make online, I can use that class session to do a review. So I give you a review of the midterm. Okay? Explain questions in the quizzes, in the homework assignment on that day. So we won't do midterm in the classroom on that day. But after the class, I start the online test. I already set up. So at this point, I already set up the test. So actually, if you look at your Canvas page, you can see it. All the assignments, set up dates, you can see for the whole semester, all there. The specific dates. But before the time I post the tests, post the assignments, you cannot see it. So blank, nothing. But at that starting time, then you can see the assignment. All right, so that's the midterm. Then the final, then you have to do it right here. Okay, final. So it's a 2-hour test. Final, 2 hours. Okay, All right, the detail, so I delete the details. So at this point, so I do not need to give you test details, right? Still too early. So later at some point, I will give you the, what kind of questions, the arrangement, the assignment details, that kind of detail I will delay at appropriate time. So these two tests, 50% each. The weight, pretty big. We know important. 15% each. 15% each. The weight. All right. And all right. So first question. Homework assignments, 2 homework assignments here. Regarding assignments, we have several types of assignments. Homework assignments, quizzes, and projects. These 3 types assignments. Then tests. All right. So the 2 homework assignments, so I call them big assignments. Big assignments. We have small assignments, big assignments. Small assignments, I treat quizzes as small assignments. Quizzes. We will have 6 quizzes, total 6 quizzes. So there are 6 small assignments. Then 2 homework assignments, 2 big assignments. 1 for homework assignment number 1, preparing you for midterm. Homework assignment number 2, preparing for final. So you can see these 2 assignments very important. All right. Let me percentage also pretty big, 12%. Just a little smaller than the test, right? 1 test, 15% here, 12%, also pretty big, each one. So that's very important. All right. Give you some detailed information about each big assignment. All right. First, regarding the duration. How much time I will give you, duration. Usually more than 1 week. More than 1 week. More than 1 week. Because it is very challenging. You need to spend a lot of time. Very challenging. So more than 1 week. How long? So usually, so duration between 10 to 12 days. Minimum 10 days, okay, to 12 days. Less than 2 weeks. Because the semester is short, so I cannot give you too much time. Reasonable amount of time. All right. And in the Canvas assignment, although you cannot see the details of the assignments, but you can see the duration period, the starting date and the due date. You can see all the starting dates and the due dates in the Canvas assignment page. I set there, so okay, automatically. So at that time, then you will see the assignment. Okay. So this week, our first week, you will have 2 assignments in our first week. Okay? So I will tell you later. All right. Then, questions. Regarding the questions, usually I split the questions into 2 parts. For the questions. Two parts. Part A and a part B. Part A, usually, because sometimes I may change a little bit, but usually in general 10 concept questions. Concept questions, okay? Yeah. Check your understanding of the concepts. Part A, 10 questions. Part B, 15 computation questions. Computation questions. Okay, yeah. So you need problem solving. Usually, I do the 10 plus 5. Yeah, 15. 10 basic questions. Basic question, not very challenging. Okay, basic. Okay, yeah. So you need to understand. You need to, master the knowledge of the basics. Yeah. So basic questions, 10. Then plus 5 challenging questions. Okay, yeah. You need to really solve some challenging, reasonable challenging. Okay, so not doable, yeah, but non-trivial. Usually you need to spend a lot of time. Yeah. So challenging questions. Okay, yeah, 10 plus 5, like that. 10 concept questions, so that's the usual multiple choice, true and false, and a short answer. 3 types. Okay, all right. So multiple choice, first type, true or false. And a short answer. Type, 3 types. Okay, all right. Each question, what's your name?
Mohammed.
Okay, all right. So I will check your name at the break time. Yeah. Yeah, we will have a break time in the middle. Yeah. I will talk about that. Okay. All right. Each question, 4 points. 4 points each. Okay. Total 100 points. Okay. 4 times 25 total questions. Yeah. No matter it's an easy question or hard challenging question, same 4 points. Yeah. So easy to calculate. Yeah. So it's not, challenging questions, you each won 10 points. So then if you miss that, you miss too many points. Yeah. So here, the last 5 challenging, each one still 4 points. Okay, yeah. But you need to try your best to get partial credit. Yeah. So I give partial credit. Okay, all right. Even the 10 concept questions, yeah, I consider the partial credit. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard, but sometimes, so you have the best answer, you get full credit. But sometimes you have second best answer, then half credit, and and so on. Yeah, sometimes, yeah, like that. So I always try to give you the partial credit. Okay, yeah. All right. So that's the homework assignment. Yeah. Any question, just let me know. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I finished this. This big assignment explanation. Then small assignment quizzes. We will have total 6 quizzes. Yeah. Typically, each week you will have one quiz. Yeah. 1 quiz per week. Yeah. Then it cut, so you need to use 6 weeks because we have total 8 weeks, right? There, we need to use 2 weeks for 2 tests. 2 tests. In those 2 weeks, without quizzes, you need to do 2 tests. Okay? Yeah. So you will be very busy in these 5 weeks. Even starting the first week, you will be very busy. Yeah. After this class, there, a lot of materials coming. Yeah. So as I said at the beginning, the first week you will have 2 assignments. Quiz number 1 and the project number 1 in the first week. Okay? Yeah. All right. Then quiz questions, that's pretty easy because I already explained the part A of the big assignment. Then each quiz, the same format as part A of homework assignment. 10 concept questions. Okay? Yeah. So each quiz, 10 concept questions. Okay? Yeah. Check your understanding of that week. Yeah. Each week. So the quiz in that week, check your understanding of the material of that week. 2 lectures in that week. Yeah. All right. 10 concept questions. The question types, these 3 types, right? Yeah. Multiple choice, true or false, short answer. Okay. But here I use the Canvas quiz. Yeah. I run the quizzes in Canvas. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. So it's the Canvas quizzes. Yeah. Auto grading. Yeah. So I enter the answers. Yeah. Then the Canvas tool, the Canvas quiz tool will do the grading automatically. So after you submit it, you see your grade immediately. Okay? Yeah. But you cannot see the answers. Right? Yeah. So I do not show the answers. But before the tests, so I will open up the answers so you can study. Yeah. Before the tests, or a few days after the deadline. Yeah. After the deadline, I can open up the answers so you can study. Yeah. Right. Then duration. Yeah. So duration, how much time I give you. Greater or equal to 1 week. Okay? Yeah. Plenty of time. 1 week. One whole week. Yeah, more than 1. Yeah. Usually more than 1 week. But in some special cases, yeah, could be shorter. Yeah. Because near the end of semester, we will not have much time. Yeah. So our time will be very limited near the end of semester. So at that time, so I may shrink it. Yeah. So make it 1 week. Yeah. At the beginning, early times, we have relatively more time. So I give you 1 week plus 2 days. Okay? More than 1 week plus 2 days. So that means I post the quiz on Friday. Yeah. At the beginning of Friday, I post that quiz. So I already set up. Okay? So you will see it. So after the 12 a.m., right? So the first minute, 12 a.m. So you will see the quiz Okay, so the starting time of each quiz. Yeah. 12 a.m. on Friday. You will see it. The deadline, last minute of next Sunday. Yeah. So more than 1 week, 2 days plus 1 week. Yeah. So then the end of next Sunday. So that's the typical duration of each quiz. So you should have plenty of time. Yeah. So the design idea of each quiz, I want each quiz to help you understand the material of that week. So you need to study the notes. Okay? You need to digest the materials in the notes. Then you can answer the questions. No time limit. Okay? So no time limit. But I do not set 60 minutes or 100 minutes. No time limit. Okay? So the whole duration, just submit it by the deadline. Yeah. So, yeah. All right. That's the 6 quizzes. Yeah. All right. Yeah. And then, when I calculate your overall grades, I will drop 2 lowest quiz grades. Yeah. I only take your top 4 quiz grades to calculate. Yeah. So each quiz, 4%. 4%. 4 times 4, 16%. 4 quizzes. Okay. Yeah. But, drop 2 lowest. Yeah. So if for any reason you cannot do well, for 1 or 2, yeah. So, it's not a big problem. Yeah. Drop it automatically. Yeah. Yeah. All right. 4 quizzes. Yeah. All right. Then, next, programming projects. 2 programming projects. Yeah. Each one 14%. The weight also pretty big. Yeah. Because each test 15%, right? Only 1 point higher than the project. So each project, 14%. 2. Yeah. Yeah. So you really need to, pay attention. Yeah. Give your best effort. Yeah. And this week, on Saturday this week, not Friday. Friday you will get a quiz number 1 assigned, but on Saturday you will get project 1 assigned. Saturday. Yeah. Then, how much time I give you? Yeah. About 1 month. Okay? About 1 month, approximately 1 month. Yeah. So I hope it's enough. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. So try your best. Yeah. Approximately 1 month. Yeah. But before the due date of the first project, I need to assign the second project. Otherwise, we won't have enough time, right? Yeah. So 1 week, probably 1 week, one or 2 weeks before the deadline of the first, I need to post the second project. Then, in that way, you will have about 1 month for the second project. Okay? Yeah. So there is overlap because the semester is too short. So I have to manage my time in that way. So some overlap. Yeah. All right? Yeah. All right. Yeah. So then the project details, so I will post the project description. Yeah. Yeah. Project description. Yeah. So you will, study the details in the project. So here I do not talk about that. Okay. All right. Yeah. So that's the project. Then attendance 2%. Okay. 2%. Yeah. So for the attendance, yeah. So in the recent years, I try to manage the attendance. Yeah. I try to find a good way to manage the attendance, this part. Yeah. Because the problem, yeah. So in the summer semester, I only have your class, one session. Yeah. So it's a hybrid, okay? Yeah. 50%, so we meet in the classroom, and 50% we meet online. Yeah. But in regular semesters, so I have one in-person class and one online class. Yeah. For that one in-person class, then attendance pretty good. Okay, so most students show up. Usually only 1 or 2 students did not show up frequently. Yeah. But other than that, so most of the other students, so pretty much show up every time. Yeah. So I don't worry about the in-person classes, but for online classes, then the problem is not good. Yeah, because based on my data, so because when I post videos in my YouTube channel, so I can see the number of views. So the video watch rates not very high. Yeah. For some videos, the number, even less than 10 hits. Yeah. Sometimes after 1 week. After I post a video about 1 week, still single-digit number of views for online classes, as you can see. So I try to encourage those students to watch the videos. Yeah. But this one hybrid, it should be much better than the online classes. Online classes, yeah, extremely hard for me to, so I send many messages asking them to watch the videos, but still, the result not very good. Yeah. So for you, I give 3 different types of attendance. First one, classroom attendance. Yeah. So I check at the beginning of each class, so the usual attendance. Yeah. So that's the type 1 classroom type. Yeah. The second type, yeah, because my goal, if you follow the lectures from beginning to end, then I can count as your attendance. Yeah. In any way. So if you follow the lecture in any way from beginning to end, then I can count you as the normal attendance. Yeah. So then the second type of attendance is Zoom attendance. Yeah. Because each class I use Zoom to, do my presentations. Yeah. So sometimes if some students cannot come to the classroom for any reasons, so they can connect to my Zoom meeting at home. Yeah. In that way, when I check attendance, then you just respond from the Zooms. I can also count you as Zoom attendance. Okay, all right. Then the third type of attendance is video attendance. Yeah. If it's not convenient for one particular lecture in that day, for you, sometimes, yeah, then later you watch the video. Yeah. After you watch the video, then I will post the discussion board. So you can claim your attendance in the discussion board. So I give you attendance. Yeah. So 3 types of attendance. Yeah. But here I want to say, based on my experience, the best result comes from the classroom attendance. Because the learning quality is the best. Okay? So you follow the lecture from beginning to end without interruption, right? Yeah. The other two, the second best, Zoom, you need to follow the lecture at the real time, right? The Zoom way, yeah. Okay, but the third one, so because you do not follow real time, so you use your own time to watch the video, then you may have a lot of interruptions, right? Yeah, so, you know, but if you discipline yourself, you can still learning from the videos, but you need to take notes. Okay, so when you watch the videos, first make sure no interruption. Second, taking notes, just like you sit in a classroom. Okay, taking the notes. Try your best to take in the notes. Okay, all right. So that's attendance. Then I may do one thing. I may, because in order to encourage you to, do not miss any lecture. So my goal, I try to encourage you, not missing any lecture. So I may post attendance data after each lecture. After each lecture, so I do statistics using percentage for each of you. So your current attendance percentage, so I will post in a discussion board. For 100%, I do not post. Okay, I only post those students who do not get 100%. If you do not see your name, then you are 100% attendance. Okay. Then I also post the missing lectures. So those lectures you missed. Okay. So if you do not get 100%, then you need to watch those videos to get 100%. So I plan to do this semester. Okay. Right. All right. Next one, extra credit. So online evaluation. Online evaluation for this class near the end of semester. So I encourage you to do that. So in order to encourage you to do the online evaluation, because I can see the percentage, how much percentage of you have done the online evaluation. I can see that percentage. Okay. I do not know who do it, who do not. I do not have that data. But I have the data for the whole class. 70 something, 80 something. So I will do this way. Okay. If the whole class, if you do 80%, then I give you 0.8 extra credit. If the whole class, if you do 90%, then I give you 0.9. Okay, so that's why up to 1. Okay, if you do 100%, then I give you 1. Okay, 1. So in that simple way, try to encourage you to do. So everybody, so if you do not do it, then you can improve that percentage. Okay, in that way. So I can post that percentage. So now we are in the 75%. Okay, so that's the extra credit. So then another extra credit I may like to think about, because for these two projects, we will have two programming projects. So you have another chance to earn extra credit. Early submission. Because I encourage you to do early submission. Okay. So for early submission, you can earn each early submission, okay, up to 1%. Okay, up to, up to. What do you mean up to? How early you can earn 1%? How early? 1 week. Okay, So this whole 1% corresponds to 1 week early. Okay. If you can submit the project 1 week early, then you get a 1% extra credit. Then 6 days earlier, right? 6 days, 5 days, then I need to scale it. Okay, 6 days, 6/7%. 5 days earlier, 5/7%, and so on. Okay, yeah. In that way, so you can, try to earn more extra credit. Okay, but one thing, because to earn the extra credit, I don't want some students, in order to earn the extra credit, they submit a project with a lot of problems. That's not good. Okay, don't do it in that way. Yeah, so you have to. So there is a qualification line. I set a qualification line. Okay, you cannot miss too much. Yeah. You have to earn 90% of the point. Yeah. So usually, so if you follow the requirements, it's very easy to get higher than 90%. Yeah. But for early submission, I want to draw this line. Okay. Only you pass this 90% line, then you are qualified for extra credit. Yeah. Because I want to make sure the quality of your project is more important than the early submission. Okay? If you have some relatively big problem, then you should spend more time to fix it before your submission. Okay? Yeah. So then I use that 90% line. Okay? If you have small problems, so you won't lose much. Okay? Yeah. Within 10%, then you can do early submission to earn extra credit. Okay? Yeah. So that's the my basic policies for grading. Yeah. All right. Anything else? Yeah. So that's pretty much I like to talk about. Okay. Yeah. For the coursework. Yeah. For all types of the coursework this semester. Yeah. So any question? Yeah. So you can ask me. Yeah. All right. All right. So let me look at time. Yeah. All right. Oh. We start. Yeah. So here. Yeah, let me talk about the time management for each lecture. Yeah. So here, the way of posting notes. Yeah, in this slide, I want to talk about several things related to our lectures. Yeah. First, posting notes. Yeah. Posting notes. Yeah. I do it in this way. Okay. Yeah. 2 phases. I post my notes in 2 phases. Yeah. Before the lecture, after the lecture. 2 phases. Okay? All right. Before the lecture, before each lecture, so I will post my PPT notes. Yeah. So post PPT notes, but in PDF format. Okay. Yeah. I convert it to PDF format. Then I post. Because in that way, you click the file, you can see the content of the notes immediately in that page. So you do not need to use, PPT. Yeah. So here the problem actually is like this. Yeah. Because before I post two types of files, PDF file and PPT file, yeah, at the same time. Yeah. There are some students click the PPT file, yeah, not PDF file. If you click the PDF file, then you can see everything without any problem. But when you click the PPT format, then because the Canvas will use the Canvas internal way, not using Microsoft Office. Canvas will use the Canvas way to display the PPT file. Then you see a lot of fonts, distorted. Okay, a lot of formulas distorted. Okay, so in this way, then I do not post the PPT file. I only post the PDF file, so you see the content without any problem. But after lecture, I will post the PPT file. Okay, if you want to look at a PPT file, yeah, so then you can look at after the class. Okay, yeah. So the phase two, after each class, each lecture. Then I will post. Yeah. So everything you need for that lecture. Yeah. So more files for that lecture. Yeah. Yeah. So one is the PPT file. Okay. Yeah. All right. But another one, HTML file for the video. That one, yeah, yeah. So here, let me explain. Yeah. So this semester, I will do this. Yeah. Because before this semester, in the previous few semesters, I just post HTML video file directly in Canvas. But there is a big problem last semester. Starting from last semester, the Canvas blocked the embedded videos. Because when I post video, I use the embedded video. Embed my YouTube video files in HTML page. But last semester, Canvas blocked it. Before last semester, then I can post, no problem. But starting some point in the last semester, the Canvas suddenly blocked it, all the embedded videos. Yeah. So I cannot change that. So now, this semester, I make this change. I put this PDF file, PPT file, video file in the folder, then I zip it. I post that zip file. So you download the zip file. Yeah. After you extract the file, yeah, you have a folder. Okay? Yeah. So the video file is inside. Then you double click the HTML file. Then you can view the embedded video. Because it's on your local computer. When you click that file, you're not in Canvas. After you download the zip file on your computer, then you're not in Canvas. Okay? So you look at it from your local computer there, no blocking. Okay? So you can view it successfully. So that's the reason I put in a zip file. So you download zip file, unzip it, then you can you can view the, more files in that zip file. Yeah. So for each lecture, I do this. Yeah. All right, this way. Oh, also, my annotation file I'll put there. Yeah. Each class, I do a lot of annotation. Here you can see, everything I write on the screen. So I save it as a PDF file, annotation file. I also put in a zip file. Okay. After you download, so you have, everything. related to this class, this lecture. Yeah. All right. So that's one thing. Yeah. Then, for our lecture time, we have 2.5 hours. Each lecture, 2.5 hours, right? Yeah. Because each lecture from 5:30 to 8 p.m. 2.5 hours. Yeah. I need to give you a break in the middle. Okay? Yeah. All right. So I plan to do it in this way. Suppose this line, yeah, 5:50 here, 8 here. Yeah. All right. So in the middle, so this line, 6:45, right? Yeah. Approximately in the middle. Yeah, here. Let's look at the point. 6:45 p.m. Right? So then another point. Yeah. 7 p.m. Yeah. So this 15 minutes. So I want to give you a break. Yeah. But so usually, because at the end of the first half, yeah, because usually I'm talking. Usually I'm talking about some particular topic. Yeah. So I want to, stop that topic at an appropriate point. Okay. It's not like at 6:45 then I stop immediately. Right? Yeah. Because sometimes I talk about something very important, complete that part. Yeah. So that means I use 2 or 3 more minutes to complete that, the current topic. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. But I will make sure do not use too much time, less than 5 minutes. Okay? Yeah. So less than 5 minutes I complete. So to give you at least 10 minutes in the break. Yeah. So usually 2 or 3 minutes. 2 or 3 minutes I finish the current topic. Okay? Yeah. So then we start a break. Yeah. So then at 7 p.m. we start our second half. Yeah. Yeah. So today we will do that. Okay? Today let me see. So I need to look at the time. Yeah. So we have some time before the break time. Yeah. All right. So that's pretty much I want to explain for the syllabus. Any question? Yeah. So it's pretty clear. Okay. All right. So if no question, then we start our lecture number 1. Yeah. 8.1, basic procedure of problem solving. Yeah. For this class, so what are we doing in this class? Basically, so what we are learning in this class, problem solving for computing problems. Problem solving for what? So not for math, okay? For computing problems. Yeah, so that's what we are going to do in this class. Okay? Yeah, so first, I want to talk about the basic procedure of problem solving on computing problems. Okay, computer science, computing problems. Okay, yeah, computer science type computing problems. Okay, not a math type, not the engineering type. Yeah, so computer science type computing problems. Okay, yeah. All right, let's look at the first questions. Yeah, okay, when we talk about computing problems, actually it could be very general computing problem. The first one, now, let me show you the first question. This chessboard question, okay? Yeah. How many squares of different sizes can you find along the grid of chessboard? Yeah. Do the counting. Yeah. Because you can discover many different squares. Okay. Yeah. Squares, squares here. Yeah. But also we treat along the grid lines 2 by 2 squares, right? Yeah. Then this is also a valid square, right? 3 by 3 squares. Yeah. Then in the whole chessboard, now I ask you, how many total squares of all different sizes can you find? It's a counting problem, okay? Counting question. And we treat it, this is a computing problem. Okay. We need to do computation. Yeah. We need to solve this problem. Okay? And when we solve computing problems, we need to choose appropriate strategies, appropriate methods, techniques. So a lot of skills we need to learn and develop. Here, our first computing problem. Any idea? So when I ask you this question, any idea when you do the counting? The first thing, when we solve a computing problem, we need to understand the problem. Yeah. So the first round, we need to spend quite some time to understand this current problem. Okay? Yeah. So try to, so what do you mean understanding, right? Yeah. It's a lot of things. Yeah. We try to understand our data. So here, what is our data? We need to study our data. Yeah. This chessboard, it gives you the data, right? Yeah. All the square information, okay? Horizontal lines, vertical lines, yeah. You know, the shape, yeah. That's our data, okay? All right. Yeah. Then, when you study the data, you need to study the properties of your data. Okay? Your data. Try to observe. Try your best. Observe and find the properties of the data. Right? All right. Yeah. Yeah. So here, we need to do some data processing work. We need to manipulate the data. Data processing. Yeah. So, you know, here the phrase I use here, you know, very vague, right? So, what do you mean? Processing, manipulation. Yeah. So we need to get more and more details here. All right. So what is the given data? So here, squares in all different sizes. Now, do some careful observations here. How many different sizes can you see in the figure? Sizes of different squares. Do careful observation. Okay? Yeah. How many sizes? How many, you know, for each size. Yeah. So you just count. Each side we count one. Okay? We do not need to count all the squares for one particular size. Just count the number of sizes. That's easy, right? That's easy. Yeah. Can you see? Yeah. So first easy question. How many different sizes of the squares? Anyone want to say something? Sizes.
8 different sizes?
Yes, 8. Yeah, 8. Why 8? Can you explain why 8? Why 8? Not guess, right? Not guess.
It was
Yeah.
not a guess. It was considering about 1 square
Yeah.
and 4 squares and 9, 16, 20.
Oh, okay, good. Yeah. Yeah. All right. 1 by 1. That's the first size, right? Yeah. 1 by 1. 2 by 2. Second. 3 by 3. Go all the way to the largest size, A by A. From 1 by 1 through A by A, how many sizes? Right? Yeah. So this counting is quite easy. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. Yeah. So that's part of our understanding. When we do understanding, we want to, discover all the useful informations regarding this problem. Yeah, we need to discover the useful information. So this is one useful information, right? Yeah. 8 different sizes of the squares. We need to do the counting. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Then, but then another question: how to identify all the squares? Yeah. We also need to identify. Yeah, because when we do understanding, we want to discover all the useful information. Here, we want to, do a little more work, a little more discovering work. How to identify each square? How do you describe one square? Can you find a specific way to describe for any square? How do you describe? Yeah, so one of the squares. Yeah, here, let me just use this square, okay? So this square 3 by 3. Yeah. How do you identify the location? Yeah, here, because the square, there is a location. How do you describe precisely the location of the square? Okay? Any way? Any way. Yeah. Because we need to do that. Describe the location. Find a way to locate it precisely. Okay? That's all. That's the work we need to do in our understanding. How to determine the location of the square. Simple way. Yeah. You do not need to consider some very complicated way. Just simple way, straightforward. From the graph, from the figure, you can see it immediately. Location. Okay? How do you tell me we are looking at this 3 by 3 square, not this 3 by, because there is another 3 by 3 square here. Yeah, 2 different 3 by 3, but now we are talking about this 3 by 3 squares. How do you identify it? Okay? Easy way. Easy way. Want to try a little bit? Try. Yeah.
A through 8, or A through 8 letter across the top, and 1 through 8.
Oh, good. Like the chess, right? Remember? Yeah. When we play chess, yeah, we have, A, B, C, D, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Vertically, 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. Horizontally, A, B, C, D, E, F. G, yeah, G, yeah. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, yeah. When you play chess, you do that. Coordinates. Okay? Yeah? Okay, yeah. That's one way. That's a simple way. Yeah. But if you use that way, how do you describe the square? Do you want to describe 4 corners? Oh, one corner, but you, right?
Go 3 cross and 3 down.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's okay, yeah, that's okay, okay. But, yeah, here, before the break, I do not have much time, yeah? So 5 minutes, only 5 minutes before the break time, okay? All right. All right, so here, in problem solving, yeah, because here, I want to convey the general procedure of problem solving. Yeah. So in problem solving, in order to solve this current computing problem, when we study our data, you need to control the details. So here I'm talking about another important problem. It's called detail. What do you mean here, detail control? Yeah. Because here, you can observe a lot of details, a lot of detailed information, like the coordinates. Coordinates, that's the detail, right? Yeah. So we can use A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 5 to, describe location details. Yeah. But the issue is, how much details do we need to use in this question? How much detail? It's not like the more details you use, the better. It's not like that. The more detail you use, it's not like that. Not like that. Because here, the detail, the color detail. Here, some squares white color, some squares black color, or gray color. That detail, do you think? Right? Yeah. So here, the detail information is not important. We should ignore that detail. We should ignore. Because that kind of useless detail, they play that role of, what's that? Distraction. That's the distraction factor. Now, if you consider colors, that's distraction. Okay? Now, so we don't want to use unnecessary details. Now, so we only want to use, so we need to control. Not too much detail, not too less. If it's not enough, the detail not enough, then you cannot solve the problem, right? So you need to use the enough information to solve the problem. But just the right. When you use the detailed information, right detail information. Okay? Yeah? So here, that's what I mean. Detail control in your problem solving here. Okay? All right? So here. Actually, what I want to say is, the A, B, C, D, 1, 2, 3, 4, that detail is important. More than necessary. That detail, partially useful, we cannot say completely useless, partially useful, but we do not need to use all the coordinate information. All the coordinate information, too much overwhelming. Overwhelming. Okay? So we don't want to go that far. Okay? No. So for that reason, we want to do less than all the coordinates information. Okay? Less than all the coordinates information. Just right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. The first class. Yeah. Let's take a break at this time. So then you come back at 7 o'clock and we continue.